All right, everyone. So in the previous class in accounts, we were discussing journal, and in the last class, we have discussed first of all in the beginning of the chapter, we have covered the meaning of journal. Then we have covered the features of journal. Then I have basically shown you the format how journal is prepared. So this is the format of journal. Then we have basically recalled the rules of debit and credit of the modern accounting approach. And after that, we have started doing journal entries, taking few examples. All right. So I think in the last class, we have covered these questions. We have covered only one question in the previous class. And I think I have given you one homework. So is there any doubt in the homework that I gave you, Samiksha?
No, sir.
Done with the homework?
Sir, I was doing the last one. I did not have time to finish it, but I did it half. So the ending only the.
Okay. So, all right. So the till the point you have done, is there any problem?
No, sir, no doubt.
No doubt. Okay. So let's continue with the other question. We will be doing few more questions today. I think I have given you this question. No, this question I gave you.
No, one minute.
All right. I think I
At
gave
this
you this.
point, this.
Okay. Okay. So let's start with this question. Uh, in this question as well, we have to generalize the following entries. So first of all, there is a first transaction, goods worth rupees 500 given as charity. So tell me, Samiksha, how this will be journalized? Any idea? When we give goods as a charity, what will happen? So see, first of all, charity is a you can take it as a uh, from business point of view, you can take it as a expense
Right?
or a loss.
Okay.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
so any loss or expenses should be debited, right?
Debited.
So charity account will be debited first of all. All right. And now because we are giving goods as a charity, so goods definitely we have purchased goods.
Credited.
So goods will be credited, but not by the name of goods, but instead of goods we will write by purchase.
So
So
the goods were bought.
good we have bought, we are giving it as a
Okay.
charity. So when what do we how do we generalize when we purchase the goods? We write purchase account debit to cash. Usually,
Yes.
if you are purchasing it on cash. Now, when we are giving goods as a charity, so value of goods will be decreasing, right? So purchase account will be decreasing because there is a decrease in the value of purchase account. So we will be crediting the purchase account this
Yes.
time. So we will write charity account debit to purchase account. All right. So
Yes, sir.
this is our first transaction. This will be our first entry. Okay. Now the second entry, I think why it is showing me that I have given this as the homework.
No, sir, you only gave the previous one.
Previous one I gave you. Okay, no problem. Never mind. Okay, the second transaction, tell me how it will be treated. Sold goods to Mayank for rupees 1 lakh, payable 25% by check at the time of sale and balance after 30 days of sales. How this will be recorded.
So
How
what
the
is balance after 30 days of sale?
balance after 30 days of sales, basically that you are selling goods on credit. You are saying that you are allowing Mayank to pay the rest of the amount after 30 days. So for
So
30
check
days
is
period, Mayank will be considered as the debtor.
check is fully not covered. Like
Let me show you the transaction. Let me show you the entry of it. Just a minute. So what we are doing here, we are selling goods costing rupees 1 lakh and amount received 25% through check, and balance amount, that is 75%, is still due on Mayank. All right. Okay. So basically we have received only, see, this is how it will be treated. We are selling goods costing 1 lakh. Out of this 1 lakh, we are only receiving 25% in the form of check, and the balance amount is still due, for which we are allowing Mayank a period of 30 days to repay this amount. Is it clear, Samiksha?
Yes, sir.
So how
some-
do we journalize this? We will write it as, first of all, because we are selling goods and receiving check, so we will write it as, because check is an asset, bank account will increase, so we will write bank account debit, correct? And
Yes,
the balance amount is still due, right? Balance
yeah,
amount is still due. Only we have received only 25%, that is 2500 will be debited. Balance amount is still due on Mayank, and Mayank, the payment from Mayank hasn't been paid yet, so hence Mayank will be considered as a debtor,
okay.
and debtor are our assets. Because Mayank is not paying the rest of the amount, so debtors are increasing. That is,
Yes,
assets are increasing, and rule regarding the asset says whenever there is increase in the value of asset, we will debit the account. So we will also write Mayank account debit again. Mayank account debit, this time by 7500, correct? Bank
yes,
account debit, Mayank account debit. Now we will credit what? Credit the sales account too, because sales is a revenue, and increase in the value of revenue will be credited. So 10,000 on the credit side. This is how it will be recorded in the journal. We will write being goods sold. We can write this narration, being goods sold.
yes,
Is
sir.
this clear? So the second transaction we were doing, goods sold to Mayank for rupees 1 lakh, payable by 25%, payable 25% by check at the time of sale, and balance after 30 days. Now the third transaction, received 975 from Hari Krishna in full settlement of his account of rupees 1000. Tell me how this will be generalized. Third transaction, we are receiving 975 from Hari Krishna in full settlement of his account. So first of all, tell me, Hari Krishna will be treated as what? He's our creditor or the debtor?
Debtor,
Debtor. So Hari Krishna is the
debtor,
debtor is 1000. Value of debtor is actually 1000, correct? But
yes,
he is only paying us what?
975,
975 we are actually receiving from him. Instead of 1000, that means we are allowing him a discount of 25 rupees.
yes, sir.
Correct. So we can write it as, see, this is how we can write it as, Hari Krishna is a debtor on which 1000 is due. He is paying by, let's assume he's paying cash. He's paying cash of rupees 975, and 25 rupees he's not paying. He's basically paying 975 in full settlement. That means we are allowing him a discount of 25 rupees. All right. So first of all, tell me, in this transaction, debtor will increase or decrease?
Debtor will decrease.
Debtor will decrease, correct? And when debtor decreases, what do? We debit the account or we credit the account?
Debit the
No, debtor is an asset, Samiksha. Debtor is an asset.
as
When asset reduces, we will credit.
credit. Okay, sir.
Okay. And in this transaction, cash will increase or decrease?
Increase.
Increase. And when cash increases, what do? We
Debit.
debit the cash account. And discount is what? Discount is an expense or a revenue, because we are allowing discount this time. Discount allowed. So for this transaction, discount that we have allowed is an expense or a revenue?
Expense.
Expense. So expenses are increasing. No, expenses are increasing. So expenses should also be, the rule
Debit.
regarding expense says that expense should be debited.
Yes, debit.
Done. We can now pass the general entry. So we will debit the cash account. We will write cash account debit.
Debit.
Amount will be 975. Discount allowed debit. Discount allowed account
Debit.
debit by 25 rupees
To
to
Hare Krishna account.
Hari Krishna account. Correct. Hari Krishna account. 1000. This is how it will be done. We will write being amount received in full settlement. Being amount received from Hari Krishna in full settlement. This will be the narration. You can write any narration. There is no hard and fast rule that how you will write down the narration. You can make write down any statement. So this is how this will be generated. Is this clear to all of you? Halima?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Now let's move to the fourth transaction. Fourth transaction says received a first and final dividend of 60 paise in a rupee from the official receiver of Rajan who owes us 1000. Tell me how this will be recorded. This will be generalized. Tell me how this will be generalized.
Cash account debited.
So what is happening in this question? We are
We are
receiving
receiving from
60
debtor.
paisa in a rupee, right? So that means we are receiving only 60% of the amount due. So first of all, Rajan is who? Rajan is a debtor from whom amount is to be paid.
Yes.
Rajan was our debtor and total amount that was due on Rajan was actually 1000, but he goes insolvent. He is not left with any amount. The government has court has declared him insolvent and an official receiver has been appointed for dissolving his asset. That is called official receiver has been appointed by the court. That is a different thing. Point is that Rajan is our debtor and debtor is only paying 60 paisa in a rupee. That means he's only paying 60% of the amount due. All right, 60% of the amount due. That means he will pay only 600 rupees. Correct? 600 in cash. 600 cash we will receive. Okay. What about the other 40%? Tell me what will happen to the other 40%? Tell me what will happen to the other 40%. See, Rajan was a debtor. Total amount due was 1000. He is paying 60%. Other 40% is not being paid by him. So this is called, we are not allowing him a discount, right? This time he is not paying. So this will be considered as a bad debt.
Yes.
Bad amount that we are not able to recover from him considered as the bad debt. So bad debt is simple. Bad debt is a kind of loss. All right. Okay, now let's generalize this. First of all, through this transaction, there will be increase in the value of debtor or decrease in the value of debtor?
Decrease.
Because debtors are decreasing, so this will be credited. And debtor is paying 60% cash. So there is an increase in the value of cash. So cash should be debited. And there is a loss as well. Loss of 40%. 40% will be 400. So this 400 should be what? The loss should be credited or debited?
Debited.
Debit all expenses, debit all losses, and credit all gains. This is the rule. So we will debit the loss. We will debit the loss. Is it clear, all of you?
Sir, can you repeat that rule?
Rule says that debit all expenses and losses, credit all gains and revenue. Rule regarding the nominal account.
Yes, sir.
If you can remember. Okay. So according to this rule, because there is a loss, we will debit the loss. So how we will journalize this transaction? We can write down
cash account debit 600.
Cash account debit, correct. Cash account debit by 600.
Bad debt debit.
Bad debts account debit by 400.
400.
To Rajan account, correct?
Yes, sir.
Amount 1000. This is how it will be generalized. And now we will write down the narration. You can write down the narration. All right, everyone. Halima, Steve, Is there any
Yes.
doubt?
No doubt.
Perfect, very good. Okay, now let's move to the next transaction. And this time we have this transaction, depreciation charged on plant. Plant is what? Plant is a basically asset, and depreciation is a kind of loss, or you can treat it as an expense. So we will write it as the value of plant will decrease. No, value of plant will decrease by 1000 when depreciation is charged. So because plant is decreasing, so we will credit the plant account, and depreciation is an expense or a loss. Correct. So we will write down depreciation account debit to plant account.
Yes.
Halima, is this clear? Is this transaction clear? Halima?
Yes.
Okay. So in this case, entry will be depreciation account debit to plant account. Next
Okay.
transaction, charge interest on drawings. This is different. Charge interest on drawing. How we will record? How we will?
Interest is expense.
Yes, interest is an expense. But in this case, interest, we are basically the person who has drew certain amount from the business. We are imposing interest on that person. So in this case, interest is a revenue for the business. Interest is a revenue for the business. Interest on drawing is a revenue for the business. Getting my point? Generally, interest paid is an expense. But sometime what happens, let's say proprietor or the owner has withdrawn certain amount of money from the business. This will be treated as drawing, correct? For
Yes.
drawing, for the amount that business owner withdraw or the partners withdraw from the business, we sometime imposes interest on the drawing. So the interest that is applicable on the drawing is considered as the revenue for the business point of view, correct? So therefore, interest is, in this case, in the fixed transaction, interest is the revenue. So when we impose interest, this will increase the revenue, correct? So
Yes.
this should be credited.
Credited.
Point
And drawings will be
is
debit.
correct. Drawings account debit to interest on drawing account, and this will be the general entry for this transaction. This is how it will be recorded. Drawings account debit by 1000 to interest on drawing account 1000. And now we can write down the narration that being interest charged on drawing. This is how we can journalize this transaction. Tell me, guys, Steve, Samiksha, and Halima, is this clear?
Sir, interest on what all things will be credited?
Interest on what things will be credited?
Only drawings, or is there others also? Because
Interest, see, we also receive interest from bank. So interest received, whenever interest is received, it will be credited. This is it. So I
Okay.
cannot specifically mention the items on which we receive interest.
Yes.
There can be different situations where can we receive interest, but
Okay, so
the
only
only thing that you need to
interest.
remember is that whenever there is inflow of interest, whenever interest is receiving,
Yes.
we are receiving interest, that will be credited. This is it. Okay, now the seventh transaction, sold goods costing 40,000 to Anil for cash at a profit of 25% on cost, less 20% trade discount, and charge 8% value added tax, and paid cartridge 100, which is not to be charged from customer. So guys, can you generalize this transaction? This is a little difficult as compared to the other transaction that we have done. So just give
Sir,
it a try.
cartridge we'll add in the same entry, right?
Sorry.
Oh, cartridge.
Yes.
We'll add in the same entry.
Cartridge is not charged from customer, na? So
Okay.
it will not be added in the same transaction, same journal entry. For this, you will have to pass a different journal entry.
Yes.
Just give it a try. Then I will do it for you. Halima, you are trying this question?
Yes, sir, I'm doing it.
All right.
So we'll first add the 25% to the original cost,
Correct.
and then we'll subtract 20%,
Correct.
and then we'll add again 8%, right?
Correct.
So 3,200.
Yes, I think this is correct. 3,200 is the fine.
No,
43,000 some.
the 43,200, like we'll add
Yes.
43,200. Yes.
Value added tax is how much, Samiksha?
8%
8
or 3,200 plus
8% of what?
40,000.
8% of 40,000 is how much?
3,000.
3,002. Correct. Okay. Sorry. 3,200. So the customer will basically pay 43,200. So see, Halima, pay attention. Goods that we have sold to the customer cost rupees 40,000, right? In this 40,000, we are adding 25% as our profit. That will be 10,000. For 25% of 40,000 will be 10,000. So the selling price, final selling price will be 50,000. Now we are also allowing a 20% discount to the customer, which is 10,000. 20% of 50,000 will be 10,000. Now the final selling price to the customer is 40,000. Final selling price is 40,000. But then customer will also required to pay 8% for the value added tax. So the final amount payable by the customer, this is the amount paid by the customer, is 43,200 for the commodity, for the good. Now, how we will write down this transaction? How? Because we customer is basically paying it for cash, no? Sold goods costing 40,000 to Anil for cash. So customer is making payment in the form of cash. We will write it as cash account debit, right? Cash account debit for 432, sorry, 43200. To, tell me what I will write here. Cash account debit to, cash account debit to
Sales account.
sales account. Halima, is this clear? Cash account debit to sales account 43,200.
Yes.
Okay. We can generalize, we can also write down the narration being goods sold on cash. Okay, this is the first part, first journal entry of this transaction. There we'll also have to prepare, we also have to pass one more journal entry, that is for the cartridges paid. See, charges 8% value added tax and paid cartridge 100 rupees. So tax will be, obviously tax will be charged by the customer, but this cartridge will not be charged by the customer. So will have to basically pass the one more entry. This time we are paying the cartridge charges. So we will write down cartridge account debit, cartridge account debit 100 rupees to cash account 100 rupees. And we will write down the narration that being cartridge expenses for the cartridge paid. Tell me guys, is this clear to both of you, Halima and Samiksha and Steve as well.
Yes.
Any doubt?
Even though
Samiksha?
it's not being charged by the customer, we're still going to record it.
If this is to be paid by the customer, then we will show it here in the cost price.
Okay, sir.
If we will charge this amount from the consumer, that there is no need to show it separately. We will be showing it here only. Cash account debit to sales account. We will add 100 rupees in the cash. That will be 43,300.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. All right. So this is how we will generalize these transactions. I hope everything is clear to all of you. We will move to the next slide, doing one more question based on the similar concept. This is the question that you will be doing. So try this question. This is a small one. Generalize the following transaction. Shyam became insolvent. A first and final compensation of 75 paisa and a rupee was received from his official receiver. He owed us. So total amount that Shyam owes is 10,000. He is only paying 75% of the total dues. 25% is, you can say 25% is bad debt. In the second transaction, received a cash for bad debt written off of the last year. See, sometime what happens now? The sometime there are certain debt which we had considered as a bad debt, and we have written off in the books of account. But that bad debt is getting recovered. The person who had defaulted earlier is making the payment for the bad debts. So this is to be recorded. This transaction, it is to be generalized. So you will have to determine how you will be generalizing this transaction. So give it a try. I'll be helping you. In the third transaction, rent due to landlord. So rent due is what? Rent due is basically outstanding. It is a kind of liability. And in the fifth transaction, in the fourth, salary due to clerks. So in this case as well, we have outstanding salary. In the fifth transaction, place an order with the Rakesh Mohan for the supply of goods of the list price 1 lakh, and in this connection, Raman paid 10% of the list price as an advance by check. So try the question, guys. I'm here only. I'll be helping you, and I hope few transaction so you can obviously do, and in few questions, in few transaction, you are going to have problems. So I just want you to attempt these
Yes.
transactions at least. Halima, is the question clear to you?
Yes, sir, I can see it.
Okay, so try to generalize this transaction. See, first transaction is easy. In the first transaction, what is happening? Shyam, total due on Shyam is 10,000. Out
Yes.
of this 10,000, Shyam is paying 75% cash and 25% is getting bad debt.
Right.
So we will write the general entry for this. Cash is
account
receiving, we are receiving cash. So cash account debit
7,500.
7,500.
Bad debt debit.
Bad debt debit, because bad debt is a loss and loss is to be debited 2,500.
2,700.
And there is a reduction in the value of
To
asset
sham account
to sham account
10,000.
10,000. So this is how it will be recorded in the journal. We will write down the narration being amount collected from Sham. Done. This is the first transaction, first general entry of the first transaction. Halima, tell me, is the general entry clear? Steve and Halima. Halima, is this transaction clear to you?
Sir, their bad debt, like it's written in the middle, and here it's in debit column.
So I'm doing the cover.
So there,
Sorry, I didn't get your point.
that bad debt is debited.
Bad debt that is debited, you have doubt in that? Okay.
Yes, sir. Explain again.
See, what is happening, Halima, that total amount due on Shyam is 10,000. Out of this 10,000, Shyam is only paying 75%, and rest of the amount, 25%, is not paid by the Shyam. So the amount that is not paid by the Shyam is considered as bad debt, and bad debt is a kind of loss. It is a loss. So tell me, loss, the amount of loss is how much? 2,500, right? And any loss that arises, it should be debited. The rule basically says that whenever there is loss or in expenses, what we will be doing, we will debit the loss or expense account. So there is a bad debt. Bad debt is a kind of loss. So we have debited the bad debt. Cash we have received, we have debited cash. There is a loss of bad debt. So we have also debited the bad debt account. And Shyam
So
account
here
is
Shyam account is credited, rest cash account is debited.
cash account debited, bad debt account debited, and Shyam account is credited only.
Okay.
Okay. All right. So this was the first transaction. Now let's move to the second transaction. Second is received cash for bad debt written off last year. See what had happened in the last year, we had written off debt considering it as a bad debt. Now the person who has defaulted in paying the debt has realized, and he is basically, he came uh, came to us and paying the 5,000 rupee. So the amount that we had earlier written it off as considering it as a bad debt is basically being recovered this time. So how we will record it in the journal entry? Samiksha?
Cash account debited 5,000 to
Cash.
So can we write bad debts only?
Bad debt is a loss. If you
Yes.
will write bad debt, then you will have to debit the account. So bad debt recovered is what? If bad debt is a loss, so bad debt recovered is what?
It will increase.
It is increased. So bad debt recovered is basically a revenue. Just like bad debt is a loss, so bad debt recovered is a revenue. So if there is a increase in the bad debt recovered, revenue is increasing, no?
Yes,
Revenue is increasing. So what we will be doing?
but
We
sir,
will
if bad debt is a loss, then we'll debit it, right?
correct.
So if it's a revenue, also we'll debit it.
No, we will this time. If there is a loss, see, if there is a loss, it will be recorded as a bad debt. But if there is a if bad debt is getting recovered, that means we are having a revenue.
So both sides it's increasing.
See, what actually had happened, we have considered that 5,000 has gone. We have considered it as a loss, but suddenly the person comes to us and saying that I will pay you 5,000. So now this is actually a revenue. The amount that we have already assumed that it is a loss, now it is coming back to us. So this will be treated as revenue. First of all, tell me, is this clear to you?
Yes, sir. It's revenue.
Okay. So because bad debt is a loss, hence bad debt recovered is a revenue, and revenue is increasing. Therefore, revenue rule regarding revenue says debit the revenue account. Sorry, credit the revenue account. Whenever there is increase in the revenue, credit the revenue account.
Credit, right?
So we will write cash is coming, right? Cash is coming. So
Cash
we will
account
write cash
debited
account
to
debit
bad
to bad debt recovered.
covered.
Bad debt recovered account. Bad debt recovered account. And amount is 5,000. 5,000 debit, 5,000 credit. And we can write the narration being bad debt recovered. Halima and Steve, tell me, is this transaction clear to both of you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's talk about the third transaction, rent due to landlord. Now see, rent is what? Rent is expense. If rent is due, so there will be increase in the value of liability. Rent is generally an expense, but if it is not paid, it becomes a liability. So rent due, how it will be recorded? Rent due is a liability. We will be the amount that is not paid is considered as outstanding. So we will write rent outstanding, correct? Rent
Yes.
outstanding. Because we are not paying the rent, so rent became the rent outstanding, and it is a liability. So tell me, because we are not paying the rent, it become a rent outstanding. So it is a liability, no? And
Yes.
liability is increasing. Rule regarding liability says what? Rule regarding liability says whenever there is increase in the value of liability, what we should do? We should credit the liability account. We will credit the
Yes.
liability account. So it is clear that rent outstanding should be credited. The point arises what we will debit this time. Rent will be debited. So the transaction, we will generalize this transaction like this. Rent account debit, rent account debit. Rent is reducing and it is becoming a liability. So expenses, whenever there is decrease in the value of expense, they should be debited. Sorry,
Yes.
whenever there is increase in the value of expense, that should be debited. So rent is a kind of expense, and because we are not paying the expense, hence it is becoming a outstanding rent. So it is also increasing the liability at the same time. So we will write rent account debit to rent outstanding account. Rent outstanding account. This is the general entry for this transaction. Amount
Yes.
will be 8,000 on the debit side, 8,000 on the credit side, and narration will be being rent due not paid. Fourth transaction is done. Now we will enter the third transaction is done. We will enter the fourth transaction. And now this will be easy. Salary due to clerks. Again, we are
Salary
not
account
paying the
debited
salary.
to salary outstanding.
Correct. Halima, can you pass the general entry for the fourth transaction? Salary due to clerks. Can you tell me the general entry for the fourth transaction? Salary due to clerks.
Salary account debit to cash.
Salary account debit to cash. We are not paying cash, Halima. Salary is due but not paid. Salary is outstanding, no? Halima, are we
Yes.
paying the salary in cash or the salary is still due?
It's unpaid.
It's unpaid, right? So we will write salary account debit to salary outstanding account. Is this clear? We will
Okay.
any expenses which is due but not paid will be generalized like this: salary expense account debit, whatever the expense is. So salary account debit to salary outstanding account. Salary outstanding account. Amount will be 10,000 on both the sides, 10,000 and 10,000. And we will write being salary due, not paid. Fifth journal entry. Samiksha, tell me the journal entry for the fifth.
Yes,
Placed
sir.
an order with Rakesh Mohan for the supply of goods of the list price 1 lakh, right? In this connection, Raman paid 10% of the list price and as an advance by check. So we have placed an order with the Rakesh for the supply of goods, correct? We are purchasing goods from Rakesh, okay, costing rupees 1 lakh. And in this connection, we have basically paid only 10% of the list price as an advance by check. So what will happen to the other 90%? It is due but not paid, na?
Sir, only 10% Raman is paying.
Yes, Raman is only
So the
paying
rest
10.
is still as a debtor, right?
Yes. But then rest is not debtor. It will be creditor. We are considering that we are
Who's Raman here?
place an order with Rakesh Mohan. Raman is basically the purchaser. The person who is buying the
Raman
good is
is
Raman.
purchasing.
And we are basically entering the transaction from the point of view of Raman only.
Okay,
Consider
from
that we are
Raman.
passing the transaction from the Raman point of view. So
Okay.
Raman, for Raman, Rakesh will be considered as the creditor.
Yes, sir.
So how we will generalize this transaction? We will write down, because we are making the payment by check. So we will
Purchase account debited to bank account.
correct. We will write purchase account debit to
Bank account.
bank account.
But
And
sir,
also
add this one also.
see,
The rest,
just a moment.
90%.
See, first of all, purchase, we are purchasing goods costing 1 lakh, right?
Yes, sir.
Raman is purchasing 1 lakh, and out of this 1 lakh, he is only paying 10%,
10%.
and that too by way of check. Okay, and remaining 90% is still due. So the amount which is due, it will basically increases your creditors.
Creditors.
And creditor in this case is who? Rakesh is the creditor, right?
Yes, sir.
Rakesh is our creditor. Rakesh Mohan. Rakesh Mohan is our creditor. So in this transaction, what is happening? We are purchasing goods, so expenses are increasing, purchases are increasing. So whenever expenses increases, debit the account.
Yes, sir.
And when we will pay the payment in the by way of check, this will lead to the reduction in the value of asset. When asset reduces, what we will do?
Credited.
We will credit it, correct? And in this transaction, creditor will also increase. Rakesh Mohan will become our creditor. So the total amount of creditor will increase. So eventually, when creditor increases, what we will be doing? We will also credit the creditor's account. So the general entry for this transaction will be purchase account debit to bank account to Rakesh Mohan account.
Yes, sir.
Purchase account will be debited by 1 lakh.
1 lakh.
Bank account will be credited by only 10%, that is 10,000, and remaining 90,000 will be written as creditor.
Credit.
But this is done. This is how it will be generalized. Is this clear to all of you? This
Yes.
transaction is clear. Purchase account debit to bank account to Rakesh account.
Yes,
Halima,
sir.
Steve,
Yes.
tell me. Okay, so let's just cover this point once again. In the question, it was given that Rakesh is basically, Raman is basically purchasing goods from Rakesh costing rupees 1 lakh. Out of this 1 lakh, he is paying by way of check 10% of the value of the goods purchase, and remaining 90% is still due on basically Raman. So Rakesh in this case will be treated as creditor, and through in this transaction purchase is increasing, therefore we will debit the purchase account, hence we have written purchase account debited. And in this transaction our asset will decline, that is bank will decline, so we have written bank on the credit side, bank account. And creditors will also increase, and whenever there is increase in the value of creditor, we write to we basically write it in the credit part. So to Rakesh account is credited. Tell me, Halima, Samiksha, and Steve, is the transaction clear to all of you?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, let's move to the next question. This is the solution of the question. All right, this is the question. Goods costing rupees 500 given as a charity. I think this is the same question that we have already covered.
Yes.
Samiksha,
Yes.
isn't it the same
Yes.
question?
Yes.
So let's skip this question. All right. So this is the question and this will be your homework. So this is similar to the question that we were doing just now. So in the first transaction is related to Shyam become insolvent. The first and final compensation is 75 paise and a rupee. So this is similar that we were doing just now. So take the screenshot of this question. You will be doing this question as your homework. And also done with the screenshot, guys.
Yes, sir.
Halima, screenshot done.
Taken, sir.
Okay. Now, other than this, you have one more question as your homework. So these two questions will be your homework. And if you want the solution, I can share the solution as well. You want the screenshot of the solution as well?
Yes, sir. After
Okay.
doing that, sir, I'll check.
So just don't look at the solution while attempting the question.
Yes.
But see, this is the solution for the first question. For this question, this is the solution. Take the screenshot of this. And also this is the part of this question as well. D, E, F, G. So this is the solution of the first question and this is the solution of the second question. Take the screenshot of this too. Done?
Yes, sir.
And also this is the part of the solution as well. All right. So I'm sure everything that we have covered in this session is clear to all of you. If you guys have any doubt, any problem, you can ask me. Otherwise, we will end our session at this point only. And we will be continuing from here in the next class. So Samiksha, Halima, and Steve, is there any doubt, any problem you want to ask?
No doubt.
It's clear.
Everything is clear. So
Yes.
guys, it's a request, please do solve these questions and without looking at the solution. And once you are done with the question, then only you look at the solution. All right. And if you guys face any difficulty in solving the question, do let me know in the next session. We will be doing this and I'll try to resolve every doubt and problem you guys will have. Okay. So this is it for today. So we will be doing more question based on the general entry in the next class. So bye guys. Thank you for attending the session. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.
Thank you, sir.
Allah Hafiz.